start this off with one of the most beautiful things ever written, in my opinion. Desire, even in its wildest tantrums, can neither persuade me it is love nor stop me from wishing it were. W.H. Auden. And now the diner. And so there I was, driving down those familiar streets in my small Midwestern town. As I made a right turn, perhaps a third, I caught myself staring at a small blue sign dignifying the body of water I was soon to cross. The buildings blurring past the window seemingly becomes as second nature as the routes or habits of my driving. I've circled these blocks for years, never expecting to see anything out of the ordinary, and therefore I don't. My car had made a left, and before I knew it, I'd put the shifter to park while my other hand was on a search for my debit card. I'd hardly noticed the cold during my 19 steps towards the door kindly labeled pull. The thoughtful person who came up with those clever little signs or stickers most likely struck it rich off the ignorance of America. I stood at the podium, stockpiled with menus, next to the cashier's counter and dessert display, patiently awaiting my seating arrangement. Roy Orbison's pretty woman pumping through the speakers did not seem to hurry my delivery to booth number 2. The brilliance of booth number 2 should not be overlooked. If sitting east or non-looking, you have potential to witness the entire establishment. The several tables to your left, followed by the bar with its flat widescreen television. The small number of booths leading to the entrance or the back room, for overwhelming church crowds, I'd assume. And the full row of booths lining the windows all along the right side. In the morning, you'll have the pleasure of watching the sun devour the horizon. And by that I mean your eyes instantly being dried by the golden rays that crest the convenience store sign and the roof of the Hair and Nail Biz building. Also, booth number 2 allows you to be surrounded. This way you have options for which conversation you'd like to listen in on. This booth is great for service too. You can see both doors leading to the kitchen, so casting stares with your eyebrows raised or projecting smiles towards staff members will easily land you a refill or an update on your meal request. Finally, it is situated a mere 12 paces from the restroom. I ordered my comforting coffee and ice water. It is always served in a small off-white colored mug, the coffee I mean, so as to make your hand seem gigantic, which also makes the waitress stop at your table twice as often to refill it. They, the staff, they call it a warm-up. The warm-up often tricks me into adding more sugar than necessary. I've always used the knife to stir, on occasion the fork, but never the spoon. I hate that small puddle that forms in the spoon, that when it dries leaves crusty brown residue that makes you think twice about putting it back into your mug. Maybe my disgust would be slightened if the coffee itself was of fine quality. It most likely is that mass-produced, grounds-and-filtered packaged dust Folgers considers coffee. After my warm-up, I dare to add 2 packets and stir. And as for the water, well, simply 1/4 ice, 3/4 water. I will note the fully wrapped straw, rather than just the tip being still covered like other restaurants. Is it to ease the headache of those impenetrable straw wrappers, or suggest the proper end to drink from? I haven't a clue. It makes me think they're saying, hey, I don't touch the part that is going to touch your lips, but the other 90%, well, I just can't say. Conversation number 1. As soon as I peeked through the textured and apparently painted vertical blinds, the woman behind me, who was seated several minutes ago with her senior citizen accomplices, narrated exactly what I saw. She was commenting on a mother smoking next to her child as they walked to their car. Her point of view was unmistakably opposing the act. Begin quote. It's a terrific insight to the irresponsibility of parents today, end quote. In response to this, my mind began flickering a short memory of my own. My cousin Cindy and I were driving. Her kids were in the back seat. I believe we were going to Cleveland, so about or around a 50-minute car ride. I thought of smoking, but soon found her window was inoperative. However, she granted me the right to do so anyways. I immediately disagreed, attempting to show her and her children respect by refusing her toleration of this act. I recall feeling wholesome because of my behavior, like I helped someone across the road, or bought my mother flowers for no reason at all. How immature was I to think I did them a favor by not smoking? What would this elderly woman think of me? These thoughts were quickly replaced by the fear of them studying the odd shape of my ears. I have always felt, in times of being seated ahead of someone, the awkwardness that graces my ears will soon be noticed. They begin in an average way, I suppose, the detached lobe followed by that small cartilage bump that is about centered, but then it all goes wrong. They curve inward, creating almost a flat, broad ribbon lining the outside, then curves back out to a small point as it rounds towards the front. This creates such an edge that I can basically hold a pencil behind my ear without it being in contact with my head. And so, I contemplate leaving my table before these people behind me start snickering, or worse yet, stick random objects in the nooks of my ears. I keep glancing at the clock without much focus, almost just to check the batteries, because the hands seem so still. Not that I have a place to be, no rush home to my discourteous drug addict roommate, no push for my bill. I have almost become reliant on the waitress's attention. We formed a bond of sorts, a coexisting nature after such prolonged time. No need for the outside world entirely. It appears gray and silent to me. Conversation number 2. The boys in front of me are flexing their muscles. I'd say about 7 to 10. The little sister is too. Then they'll hold their thumb and forefinger to measure and compare. I happen to like the one facing me, quietly sipping his 7-Up soda, with his pinstripe dark blue button-up, his average pitcher day haircut. Oh no, he's out of soda. Hurry, waitress. The mother was explaining to them the traditional diner look. Well, this here is far removed. Have you ever noticed that gray sweatshirts are so popular in fall? Isn't that because there's so much color lurking around? It appears colder than the truth out that window, sun glaring back at my reflection, the waitress not saying a word. How long can I sit? Purposely, in general terms. Conversation number 3. Her face was beautiful. That smile made me sit up for the first time since my arrival. Though she was adjacent to man, I stared with untamed precision. She appeared foreign. Is that racist? If she lives here, she cannot very well be foreign. She could be of some other ethnic descent, I'm sure, but, well, is that PC? Or culturally sound? So, this darling-faced girl had my full attention, while the guy with her was on the phone, discussing some program to help download MP3s to your iPod, which, in an unrelated story, my brother has spent the last 10 months attempting to classify his music into the genres they provide. Wow, iPods really do simplify portable music. So he finally removes the phone from his ear and gets online, which I see sparks an interest in her. She glides into his side of the booth and leans towards the screen, and they speak to each other for the first time since I've been watching, and immediately my attention is removed. They are scanning through members on Facebook. Fuck Mark Zuckerberg. Thank you. Thank you.